Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Podriplegics podcast. As always, I must start with housekeeping items. I'll get these over with. I'm forced with the threat of violence by Eric himself. If I don't say these,
Yes, do it.
I'm in trouble. So here we go. Our sponsors, as always, are Arizona Spinal Cord Injury Association. That is azspinal.org. You can find them on the web there, or you can call them at 602-507-4209. Ask for Eric. Anytime, any place, anywhere, call. Eric will answer, and he will solve all your problems. All right.
Maybe not all of them, but
Every one of them. This podcast can be found on YouTube, azspinal.org/podcast, Facebook. We all post it on our Facebooks, and also you can find it on the Arizona Spinal Cord Injury group, and the I Use a Wheelchair, Yes, I Have a Life group.
Yeah, really big group.
You can find us audio on Spotify and iTunes. If you watch this, do us a favor, just hit subscribe on any one of those. Get your alerts going. Click right down there. And every time a new one drops, you'll be alerted. You won't miss. I know you won't want to miss this. Look at these faces. Don, Eric, and myself have 100 plus years of living with a disability. We are not medical professionals. I repeat, we are not medical professionals. So if you are having medical issues, please contact your doctor. We are here only to tell our stories and to give little pieces of advice and wisdom that we've picked up over the years. So yeah, we are not professionals, medical professionals. So that also means don't sue us. And if you can sue anybody, you know who to sue. I say it every time, and I'll say it again.
Eric.
Eric's got all the monies. Sue Eric.
Money bags.
Yep. Scrooge McDuck. I saw him diving into it the other day.
Look at the background. Look who has stuff in the background. I got nothing. Nothing.
Again, Sue
That's
Eric.
why you got so much. Look, that's why you got so much money.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't buy anything. I just live in a blank room. this is my own little matrix room, my dream room.
Mature language and content, especially in this episode, we will be discussing a little bit more mature concepts and thoughts and stories, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if we get to that part. So there will be mature language and there will be mature content, mostly from Eric.
Yeah, if you're 18, if you're under 18, fair warning, okay?
Yeah. AZ Spinal, that is the Arizona Spinal Cord Injury Association, is currently looking for individuals with disabilities who are currently or have in the past used opiates to address chronic pain to share their stories. I did one. I know several other people that did some. It's a great thing. They're trying to help people out to raise awareness of the opiate use and how it can be done safely, or if it can, or addictions and all these different things. They're trying to raise awareness. Good job for you guys, Arizona Spinal Cord Injury Association. That is it for the housekeeping items, unless, Eric, you have something to add.
Yeah, just reach out to me at eric@azspinal.org or our phone number, which was given. I'll be putting information in the description with what we're going to talk about today. And also, I'm going to put additional information so that you can reach out to me with this episode. Like and subscribe.
Awesome. And so let's get cracking. Today's episode will be talking about devotees. For anybody who doesn't know what a devotee is, Mr. Eric Kenning is going to tell you.
Well, this started from a comment. So I got a comment on our last video. So I really want to honor that. And I'm going to read the comment to you real quick. And that'll kind of lead me to why we're going to talk about this today. So the comment was from Bobby and said, "Thank you all for sharing your experiences so openly. One question that comes to mind, have you ever encountered a potential partner that wanted to engage in a relationship with you primarily because of your disability or use of a wheelchair. I've encountered a few people that have fetishes in this spectrum. So to honor one of the few comments that we get, we
Hey,
need to discuss.
Don't say that on air.
Oh yeah, you're right. The multitudes of comments that we
We
get.
chose this comment out of the thousands that came in.
Yeah, thousands. Um, so I thought it'd be real appropriate that we focus down on this issue, because it's it can be a very serious issue, and I think some of us have had these experiences, and I'd like to explore kind of our perception and how we would like to be seen as opposed to how we are seen. So a devotee, just to go into it. So I watched a video today, and I'm gonna put that YouTube video in the description. But a devotee is someone who actually is attracted to the fact that someone has their disability. So it's actually the struggle is what they are turned on by, or the malformation of the limbs or a stump.
Well, I have the actually have the definition right here.
Go for it, Laronda.
So it says, so what exactly is a devotee? A devotee are people, both men and women, who are sexually attracted to disabilities. They are sexually turned on by person amputation, paralysis, muscle weakness, muscle spasm, limb differences, etc. If you have a disability, then you're going to, that's what the definition is, basically. She's going a little bit in depth, but it's basically breaks it down to what exactly a devotee actually is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Merritt.
No, I didn't know what a devotee was. I mean, I got to tell you, I went through most of my life, and I did not know what a devotee was. I grew up with a disability, and I was blown away when I found this out. It doesn't surprise me. It just, I didn't know that this was actually a section of reality that we're dealing with.
So I see that you're not a frequent visitor of the FetLife website.
No, I left my ball gag and leather back in Minnesota. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, I'm with you too. I didn't know what a devotee was either. I just found out this year, basically, what a devotee was.
Yeah, and it's a bit. It's just a very. It's something that I think we should talk about, because it's along the spectrum of why people try to start relationships sometimes. I mean, this is part of the whole basket of beings that you're going to get coming into your life that are going to say, hey, I want to do something with you. You know, not everyone's motive is, philanthropic, like, wow, you're a wonderful person inside, I love you. You just shine, nothing. It's more like, hey, it's your disability, man. It turns me on. Not that that's a horrible thing. Okay.
Right.
You could have you could have 100 people look at the same person and be attracted to the same person, but you can have the creeper, and then you can have someone who honestly just sees you for you and loves your disability too. So there's a whole range that I think is good to talk about. And if I could just open up the discussion from there. Does anyone have any experience with this?
Come on, Shawn. I'll let you go first.
I mean, I do. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, Shawn, let's do it.
I mean, I guess what I want to know is, what are we talking about? Do I have experience, like, actually, like, dating somebody, like being in a relationship with the devotee, or do I just have experience with being around or being encountered by devotees?
I mean, both, any and all, really, because the truth is, I think people would benefit from your insight and your experience in this arena. And so
okay,
anything,
well, I'll just talk about the first time I found out about them.
Yeah, that would be great.
So I think this was around 2009 or 2008 or 2009. I was living in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So let me see, it's 2020. Yeah, it was around 2008, 2009-ish. And I was in a Circuit City. That's how long ago this was.
Wow, they still
I don't
have
know if
those.
anybody remembers Circuit City. But I was in a Circuit City, and I was in the line, and then I left, and I got in my car, and I drove home. I drove off. Okay, that has something to play as it comes later into the story, but I need to set that up. So I'm at home, and I get a phone call from the place that built my van. Right, so did all the hand controls, lowered the floor, put the ramp in, all that stuff like that. Shout out Clock Conversions, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Anyway, so the guy there, the salesman, was kind of a buddy of mine a little bit, you know. He called me and he's like, "Hey, dude, there's this really, really hot chick in here, and she's asking for somebody that I think is you. I'm not 100% sure, but can I give her your number, dude? Please." And I was like, "Is she okay? Whatever, sounds good." Anyway, so she calls me. I answer. I talk to her a little bit. And I'm like, "I don't even know you. Where did you?" She was like, "You were at Circuit City today." And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I saw you in line." I'm like, "How did you track me down all the way to here?" So she saw me get into my van, right? So she said she was running out to come out and talk to me, but I drove off. And on the back of my van said Clock Conversions. So she went to the 2 Clock Conversions, drove all the way over there. Granted, this is about 35-minute drive from where she was, all the way over there, and described me because she said that was the only one in Grand Rapids that did those conversions. So she went in there and described me, and the guy was like, "Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I got to ask." So she calls me, and I'm like, "All right, well, all right, whatever." Like, she didn't tell me the Circuit City thing or whatever, you know, or the Clock Conversions thing. She just said, "I saw you at Circuit City, and I looked up something." I was like, "Whatever, whatever." So she ended up calling me, texting me nonstop. So finally, I'm like, "All right, whatever. You can come over. Let's go out on a date." Right? Soon as she comes in the door, no time wasted. Let's put it that way. No time wasted whatsoever. She instantly is like, "Let's do this." And I'm like, "Whoa, hold on a second here. I mean, you know,
Dang.
take it down a notch for a second. Let's, you know, I do have a caregiver that's sitting right here on this couch. Like, let's just take it down a notch." And so, you know, I mean, at the time I was a young man. Mom, if you're watching, turn this off, please. God, the time I was a young man. So I was like, "All right, cool." I told my aide to leave, and, you know, we had relations. Let's put it that way.
Oh, wow.
All right. So the next day, she texts me again, calls me in. "I'm coming over." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, all right, whatever. I don't understand this, but whatever." Like, she's that into me, I guess, right? This happens for like 5-6 days in a row. And
In a row?
In a row.
Whoa.
And
It's
so
a marathon.
And so one day, she said she was coming over. This was like the 7th day, I believe, the full week. 7 days. She said, "I'm coming over." But I was laying in bed, okay? And she came over. When she came in, she was like just pissed off, just screaming mad. What are you so pissed off about?" She's like, "Why are you not in your chair?" I'm like, "Because I'm laying in bed. Like, what? You know what I mean? I'm tired. Why are you? I don't know. What are you talking about?" She's like, "This isn't going to work for me if you're not in your chair." And I was like,
What?
"Work for you how? I don't get what you mean."
Wow.
And she's like, how have you not figured this out yet?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about, one. Number two, what have I not figured out?" She's like, "Are you getting in your chair or not?" And I was like, "Fuck off." And she was like, "All right, bye." And then she bounced. And I never heard from her ever again. And so that was my introduction to what a devotee is.
Wow, that's a full immersion is what that is.
Yeah, so like
Man.
she really only was interested in me when I was in the chair, She wanted nothing to do with me out when I was even laying in bed, even though I was still disabled, right? I mean,
Wow.
she just didn't. It was too normal for her. That was too normal.
My whole thing is that, man, how many days did she come by? It's my type of chick.
Six or 7 if you count the one that she came over and cussed me out. 7 days.
All right, girl, go with your bad self.
I mean, but so that was my introduction to it, and then I started to be like, oh wow, this is a real thing. Like, so I started to look into it. At the time, it was MySpace, Facebook era, like they were where they were competing.
Oh, MySpace, yeah, I remember that.
And you could find a lot of them on MySpace. So they even had their own, just like on Facebook, they also have their own groups that you can join on Facebook called Devotees. They're on there. You can join them. And so I kind of got into it. Not into it. I said that wrong. I kind of was like interested in looking it up. Okay. And then through that, I was contacted by adult film companies looking to make those videos. So then I was like, whoa, man, this is just too much. This is too much for me. I gotta go. I gotta be out.
That's next level, man. Wow.
Right. Yeah. You know, when I found out about it, I'm gonna tell you, here's some stuff. I'm the type of person, like, I just go full into it because I want to know everything. Because when they brought it to me, I felt like they was like, oh, like I should know what a devotee is. And I'm like, no, I really don't look at life kind of like that or whatnot, because I cut people off real quick too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come at me the wrong way, click, you don't even get a second, nothing. So when I found out about it, I went online and I just did like searching about it like crazy. And I was like, dang, this is like a real thing. But I read an interesting article from actually a devotee. And she was basically describing herself and her attraction to individuals that are quad. Not quads, it was pyramids. And she was like, how she explained it, I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Because she explained it as loving the whole person. And so I thought that was, pretty cool. But I did go on the website. I did find the website because, I went searching and everything. And some of the things people were paying, like they wanted pictures of like you just your wheelchair, and they will pay you for it, and just all different type of craziness. So this one guy, so this one guy inboxed me. Well, actually, first of all, he called me, try to FaceTime me, message me, the live message thing. And I'm laying on my bed and I'm like, okay, first of all, why are you calling me at 12 o'clock at night? So I immediately hit in, and so I inboxed him, and I'm like, first of all, I don't know you like that. Don't call me at 12 o'clock at night. Well, I just wanted to see you. After I cussed him out real good, he ain't bothered me no more. He actually unfriended me because, like I said, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And then I'm in that group with other women that are kind of really dealing with this stalkerish type, craziness. I think there's different levels, or you know what I'm saying? I think there's kind of different levels, because the one lady that wrote the article, I wouldn't look at her. I wouldn't have been afraid of her, but then this other guy that is like stalking, like calling you 30 times a day, asking for money for pictures. So I feel there's different, there's different levels. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, one thing, she called herself a devotee, and then he called, and everybody's calling this guy a devotee. But the levels and the attraction to me was totally different.
So, if I may, I'd like to throw something in there. So, I had when and I think this is relative to kind of this cycle that we can get caught in. So I just got married, and Lourdes and we were being intimate, and she looked at me and she said I was beautiful, and I couldn't take it. I my own self-image of what I thought I was, my body and how it didn't work. I couldn't handle that. I didn't believe her. I thought she was lying to me. And it was tough. It was a really, really tough moment for me, because I had to come to the fact that someone could actually see me as beautiful. And that was, I think that's the trap we get stuck in, okay, is, we want to be seen as the beautiful, wonderful person that we are, and that someone would want to take advantage of not looking at that, but looking at something else, our body, and seeing it as an object. Just like how people say, don't just look at me like an object, right? I mean, that's some of the dynamics that we're dealing with. I'm not just a sex object. I'm, a human being. I mean.
Hold on now, Eric. I want to be looked at as a sex object. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yes, when you look at me and you like me, I want you to want to have sex with you if we're gonna go there. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest.
And you know what?
And one of the things too, another one of my encounters with the devotee actually helped me build some of that self-confidence that you have, right? Because this person, I mean, was on the good spectrum of it, I guess. So you're on the more norm spectrum of devotees, I guess. I guess that's how you say it. But and she made me feel like I was, the most attractive, most handsome man in the world.
See, that's
right.
awesome.
And so it really helped me in a time during a time in which I was kind of struggling. So there's positives to this thing too. I mean, it's not all a negative thing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make devotees to be the bad people here. I'm just saying that there is a big spectrum of the devotee experience.
Excuse
really,
my language too. It's the crazy ass people that's out there that makes it. I mean, that literally, because like I said, this guy, he's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? He really, really is dangerous. So and it's serious.
And that would, that same type of individual would apply across multiple arenas. I mean, their type of mentality probably would apply to, dangerous if they were not just a devotee, but wanting a regular relationship, so it can really go down to the person themselves. So yeah, I agree. There is just a wide spectrum here.
I mean, Dom, have you ever had any experiences with any devotees?
Well, I can't say that personally that I have, but I have known friends of mine with disabilities that have experienced that. And I guess my comment would be, just like any able-bodied population, we have our whole range too in the disability population. For some people, a devotee would be a big turnoff or very harmful or hurtful. On the other end, there are some people that really embrace that and even use that, and some people even profit, like you said, but Laronda, I've known people that there's a website out there, I don't want to give the name of it, but it's sort of like a Girls Gone Wild site for people with disabilities.
Hot Wheels?
Pardon me?
Is it the Hot Wheels?
Well, no, but
I know there's a couple of them. I can name them off if you want me to.
Sure, no, but I mean, where people with significant disabilities take advantage of devotees and sell sets of pictures for money. And, so I guess everybody has their own different opinion of that situation. But yeah, I did had a good friend of mine that had muscular dystrophy, and her disability was very significant over the years. It really contorted her body, and she got a lot of stares when we would go out in public, you know, people just stare at her because she looked very different. And so, you know, she would not be attractive to, I guess, your typical person, but, you know, when she's found somebody that was a devotee and really was into her, she ate that up because it was attention, and it was sexual attention. And, you know, for her, it kind of like what you said, Shawn, it bolstered her self-confidence and made her feel whole. So it's a real complicated thing. I mean,
it is.
everybody's
And I don't blame her. It's like, you know, I truly don't, you know, don't blame her. Just like you said, you know, Eric, also us as, you know, individuals with disabilities. It took me a long time to basically get the courage that I have. A lot of people look at me and I was like, sometimes I have my bad days, sometimes I have my good days, you know. But it took me a long time to build up the confidence of saying that, you know, looking at myself and saying that I am a beautiful person with, you know, even though with my disability, you know. So, you know, to find someone that actually love you or find you attractive all the way around, and that can kind of see past, you know, can see past the disability. I don't think that's a bad thing, at all, because I think everybody, I would say, I had a conversation with some people that were able-bodied, and I kind of threw this out there to my sister's boyfriend, because I just really kind of bothered me, because like I said, I read that, I was confused, really, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, okay, I can't call this woman a devotee because everybody put this bad stigma on it. And he kind of asked me a question. He said, well, what are you attracted to? You know, and I was like, well, I told him my attraction. He said, well, you will be considered a devotee if, you know, from what you're telling me, because you like men that are tall, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And I was like, no, I'm not, you know, or whatnot. So, you know, I don't blame your friend. Everybody needs this love. Everybody needs love.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get right into. And you segued it perfect, Laronda. Look, the simple fact is, even though we're disabled or we have a disability, we still are sexual beings as humans. We need relationships. We need love. We need companionship. All those things make a difference still. Doesn't stop because we're disabled. If anybody thinks that, then I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't. You know, we need it too. So sometimes when you are on the far spectrum of a disability, right? I mean, it can be a very, very difficult thing to date, to find somebody interested in you, to even go through that whole process, right? I mean, that's a difficult thing. That's why you see a lot of higher level quads or people of the sort end up dating somebody that is their aide or their caregiver, right? Because they already know that they're okay with the disability, right? Now they just meet them as the person. So it's one of those things where, you know, there's a fine line to walk there. And I think that we kind of all do it in some way or another. And even though there's a name put on it, I guess, as devotee, look, I think anybody who dates somebody with a disability has to be somewhat of a devotee at some point.
There you go, Shawn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree, Shawn. I agree with you totally, 100%. You know, I'm out here in this dating world. Oh, I tell you,
crazy. It's crazy stuff.
It is. It really, really is. I take and I'm gonna be honest. I really believe that I'm a very confident, you know, individual. And like I said, sometimes I do have my, you know, my good days and my bad days. I think I take my profile down because I get so disgusted, you know, sometimes. So I take my profile down, I put it back up, take it down, put it back up, or whatnot. It's the dating world is hard. It is hard. So I can see why an individual will go to a website where it says, okay, these people, I mean, this is what they're looking for. You know, I can truly understand that, because I mean, dating is really, look at me.
Let's look at it
is
like
really
this.
hard. Mhm.
Is there a stigma behind Christian mingle? No.
Mhm.
Is there a
No.
stigma behind farmers only? No. Right? It's all the same thing, right? It's just that you're going somewhere, like you said, Laronda, where you know already that somebody is okay with it. If not okay with it, they like it.
Mhm.
So it
Exactly.
really
Exactly.
takes a lot of the hard part of being disabled and in the dating world away.
Mhm.
Right
Mhm.
there, right then and there, right off the bat, you already know.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
You
Right.
know,
But then I want to talk. We should talk about, like I said, the crazies. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
You know how, to pick. Because they are there, and I think that they're. As me being, I would say a woman with a disability. I'll always have my antennas up. On just on just everything. I'm not and I can say, and I hate that, I don't want this to come out there, I'm not like a fearful person either. you know um my family kind of really protected me. I have a lot of cousins, I have a lot of sisters, and things of that nature, so they kind of sheltered me. And like I said, again, like this guy, he's taking it to a whole nother level. See, me, if it was me and he contacted me, I'd have gave his number to my sister and let my sister and them handle it. He would have never called. They would have scared him so bad, about contacting, contacting a person and doing the things that he's done. I mean, they were, so there are crazy. They're just crazy people, and I just hate that they have to be labeled as a devotee. They're just crazy.
Yeah, they have severe fetishes, right? I mean, is what.
There
And,
you go.
and that it can be anything, right? There's just a
Mhm.
name for this one, like there's a name for so many other ones, and I think sexuality is a very difficult thing to understand.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we as humans don't even have the slightest clue of understanding of what sexuality really is and how the brain works and functions when it
Mhm.
comes to sexuality. And that's why you see a lot of these wide spectrum things, like devotees for amputees only, right? Devotees for
Mhm.
paras only, devotees for quads only, devotees for
Mhm.
MS only. You can see it on every spectrum, right? And
Mhm.
it's because we don't really understand what makes us. I mean, we all have things that turn us on, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I know I do. I know if you guys don't, I feel bad, I guess. I think you should,
Right.
right? I
Right.
mean,
Oh,
so
look at me. I have mine. I have
I'm
mine.
sure you do.
yeah, yeah, I think we all do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's whether or not that is socially socially accepted, right? What is your baseline norm, right? You
Mhm.
go to Australia or to places in Europe, right? Sexuality is much different than it is here in the United States.
Mhm.
Yep.
So there's a
Mhm.
lot of things to think about or to factor in when you start to get into these conversations about these fetishes or these outlying whatever you want to call them, sexual. I don't know. I don't know the word for it, so I'm not gonna say the wrong.
Say what you want to say, Shawn. Just say it. Just say it. I'll back
I
you up.
think the word is perversions, but I don't know. I
Right.
don't know if
I'm
that's the
with
real
you.
word.
Mhm.
Well, and
I'm with you,
that's
Shawn.
I think that's the spectrum we're talking about. Is it can go into creeper perversion stuff, and it can go all the way to love. And where you can
Mhm.
where literally I tell you what, I've dated someone before, and the way I look at that person after making that connection with them, for me, I've had that experience where all I see is that person and everyone I look at, and so, that type of perception I think could happen. And I think devotee could be a part of that whole spectrum,
Mhm.
where it can really be that unconditional sort of, yes, I love your body, I love everything
Mhm.
about you, I
Mhm.
love,
Mhm.
or it can be
Mhm.
the sneaky person on the phone going, hey, you want to go meet tonight? Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to make it sound wrong, but I mean, there really are some people out there that will try to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, I think intent is really like what matters, right? It's not that that person may have just been attracted to you because you're disabled, but the intent in which they are engaging in a relationship with you is what matters.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
It's not,
why are they doing it, and are they upfront, or do they have an alternative agenda?
Don, you were going to say something.
I don't know what the line is, but I think like if they don't see you as a person at all, or they just see you as just a pure object, sexual object, and they don't see the person at all, that's kind of where it gets dangerous to me, in my opinion. And that's kind of the creeper end of the spectrum to me, is where they just see you purely as an object.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's dangerous to me.
I think that as well. I think it's dangerous, and I think there's a lot of things about it that are dangerous. You know what I mean? Like it's not just that they're thinking of you as an object, but they can also be taking advantage of you in ways, financially maybe, right? Like they could be taking advantage of you in so many different ways. I think that's where you really can run into a ton of issues. And we can get into this too, and I think this is a very pertinent subject. Like as far as us, when we date, like when is it okay for you, and this is a question for each of you, when is it okay for you to allow or someone you're in a relationship with to help with your caregiving or help you with things of that sort? Right?
That's
because
a tough one.
if you really get into this thing and you start looking at it, right, you might be like, okay, this is a very suitable thing for me. Very suitable. This person might want to do all of that. They might want to, you know what I mean? And make your life super easy.
Yep.
Because you know what? I'm gonna tell you my story with that one, Shawn. So I was talking to this one guy, or whatnot, and we went out. And we went shopping or whatever, and he wanted to kind of help push me and things of that nature. And I'm like, no, I can push myself. I don't just carry my bags. That's all I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Just carry my bags. I got everything.
Don't push me. Grab the bag.
Right. So
nice redirect.
By the end of the
Classic
day,
misdirection.
by the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what not to do. He was like, you so independent. He was like, I'm scared to do basically, anything. I was like, just do what I tell you. It's not that hard,
Said every woman to every man that I've just do what I tell you.
So, and then
I'm sorry, Lourdes, I said that. I'm sorry.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I will vouch for that. But I'm like, if I don't ask you for your help, don't offer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'm that type of person. And I think that sometimes you need to have common sense. So if you see me struggling to do something, then be like, oh, can I help you or something like that? But if I'm not struggling, don't help me. Like even when I go out now, people see me putting my chair together and they come and help me. And I'm like, no, I got it. You know what I'm saying? But I always make an emphasis to say, but if you see somebody else that's struggling, please help them. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want, he said I made him feel some type of way. So I was like, ooh, sorry, I was just telling you, I got it.
So have you ever let somebody that you've dated since you've been in a chair help you with your, let's say, bowel programs or showers?
Nope.
Don?
Yes, I have many times. And, that's after a while kind of getting to a point where I'm comfortable with that. I do have to say, though, even though I said I never had been involved with a devotee, I think there's something akin to that with some females I've dated where kind of like what Laronda described. They wanted to take care of me. They wanted to mother me excessively. I'm not like just your average, let me help you with that. This was like, I want to do everything for you. And it's to the point where it seemed extreme to me. And so maybe that's another form of devotee that probably is more
Prevalent.
with females, I'm guessing, caregiver type. And so when those encounters happened, I did feel uncomfortable. Although I do like when I'm dating someone to have them help me and get to a point where they're comfortable with my care as well. But if that's like the first foremost thing they want to do, you know, before anything else, getting to know me and that sort of thing, that's a red flag for me.
Yep.
Where's the line draw right there for you, Don? Because, I mean, look, this is something that I've struggled with for a long time. I mean, as far as when dating and being in relationships, is to find that good balance of where, like, hey, you know what, like, okay, help me at these times to do these things, but don't help me with these things at these times. And then also having somebody around to do that care for you also adds another thing on top of a relationship.
Yeah, that level of need and dependency. Yeah.
Well, look, you bring another individual into it, right? Like you're bringing, it's like you're bringing a whole nother person into your relationship, and that person changes every 8 hours or 12 hours, right? Like it's
yeah.
So you know, I mean, that's a part of it too. I mean, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, Don, is there stuff like, do you only let somebody do it when you're traveling maybe, or do you let them do it on a daily basis, do certain things? Like, where are your lines drawn at?
You know, I think the danger there is a burnout or a change in the dynamic of the relationship, where it goes from a romantic relationship to a caregiver, caregiving relationship. And so I've always kind of cautioned people against having their significant other as their primary caregiver. But now, you know, I've seen over the years too where that relationship works out just fine. And again, I think it has to be an honest exchange where, you know, if the caregiver is getting burnt out by it, they have to be honest with you about it. And, you know, if you're feeling a change, you have to be honest with them. So, but it is easy to fall into that because it's so comfortable when you're with somebody and they can do your care, and, you know, just, it's easy.
And they want to do it.
You want them to help you. They want to help you. So, you know, as long, again, as it doesn't go into that burnout mode where everything changes.
I mean, I know I have hard lines. Hard lines. Okay. I don't have anybody who I'm in a relationship do any of my daily regimens like bowel care, showers, any of those things, unless it is like we're going on vacation, right? Like if we were together and we both wanted to go on vacation, sure, like it's a short period of time and it can be fine. But I've been in relationships that have been ruined strictly over the fact that they're doing so much care for you that you rely so heavily upon them that if they don't want to do it, you're like, what's going on? And it you know, you get in arguments about it, and they're like, wait a second, why is everybody's getting paid, right? Well, I'm not getting paid. Like, what, you know, like, it's like, oh shit, now I got to pay you, you know, like, it's like, oh, you know, like, so there's lines there. And you know what I mean? Like I've learned over the years to draw hard lines like that. So that way it makes it easier in the beginning for them to know where they fit. You know, I mean, because I think it's hard especially when you have caregivers and family members and all these roommates or whatever you have. They don't know necessarily where to fit, you know. And I think that if you have that already, I think you'll be more successful at dating and being in relationships in general, you know.
I think you're right. That's true, Shawn, because when I was married, my husband didn't do any of that, like none of that. You know, even like now with like the use of catheters, and I don't even share that with someone that I'm dating or anything of that nature. It was a while before he even knew, kind of what a catheter was. And I think that that is right. You should keep it separate, only because, for those reasons. Because I think someone can get burned out. And I think that that's what mine is that this is, I never wanted someone to come back and be like, you're dating them or you're talking to them and it was like, well, I did this for you and I did, and I did that and I did this, you know what I'm saying? I never wanted that. I never wanted to have someone to have that basically leverage over me that can hurt me with that. It with being a woman is like, like even now, like I said, I find it so hard because men look at me for financial, you know what I'm saying? They see me coming and they look, and they immediately, they ask me for money, all different type of stuff. It's like,
Really?
I said, that's why it's like, it's just so, it is just really, yes, it's really, really hard. Being, I feel being disabled and actually out here in this dating world. And that's why I was like, I think that that's why it's so easy for women or individuals to go to quote, unquote, devotees, because like I said, it's just hard. I have had it on all different levels. Somebody that wanted to move in with me. I'm like, dude, I just met you. You know what I'm saying? I just said hi, and immediately thought that I was desperate because I was, disabled, felt like, oh, you should be happy that I even looked at you or even, so, made me feel really bad about myself. Like I wasn't worthy of dating somebody or whatnot. And like, I should just really settle for anything. So I actually have I have a list, you know what I'm saying? I have a mental list of what I will accept and what I won't accept from an individual.
Yep.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
Yep.
It's hard out here for a pimp. So that's why I'm like you, Shawn, the one lady that just wanted to come have sex. I'm like, just let's come do handle your business.
Look,
Ain't going about your business.
I've been encountered multiple times by that same situation. And look, I'm not gonna say I didn't like it,
Right.
because I'd be lying. I'd be lying to everybody on here, and that's not the point, right? Like we're here to be able to try to tell things, and look, it's happened. It happens. If I go to a club or a bar, you better damn believe somebody wants to sit on my lap. There ain't no question. I mean, anyway.
I cannot tell you how many times I used to go dancing and people would sit on my lap and dirty dance with me and do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it got very real and close.
Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna respond to the question.
Was that a song reference that I just heard out of you? Is that a song reference?
Maybe.
Did you just hit a dancing real close, making it hard for me, baby? I'm yeah, that one. I didn't know you knew that song. All right, Eric.
Yeah, you got me on that one. What I do is I tell people because people. I've had both situations where I've had a person walk across a couple blocks to go scrape off my windshield of a half a foot of snow with the tiniest scraper in the world. I got this large scraper in the back. This is when I was in Minnesota. I had this industrial sized scraper, and I was about to get rid of all this snow from a storm. And this guy was holding it up like a torch, man. The guy was like, I am going to do this. And I said, I was going to say, hey, I have a bigger scraper if you want to use this. He's like, you just stay there. I got it. And I'm like,
got you.
I was just like, God, okay, go with your bad self with this little scraper, I mean, and so, and then there's people that, I've had a person come up and sometimes I look like I struggle. I do struggle when I put my wheelchair in, and he just came in and goes, boom, and did it. And I'm like, what the absolute hell are you doing? So the situation for me is, look, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to do my life. Okay. If I need some help, I'm going to ask you. And I would appreciate it if you would help me at that point. However, you know, I'm lucky. I'm in a situation to where I don't necessarily have to have help on a daily basis. So in that respects, I am lucky with my disability. Okay. So I can do that. I can make that choice and say that, you know, that's not for everyone, you know. People do need help, but what I'm getting at is that assumption that starts heading down that mental path of like, you owe me, or, you know, I did this for you, or, you know, now it comes with conditions, and oh, I'm always doing this and that, you know. So this is where, you know, I agree, Shawn. You got to set those hard lines and be like, look, this is what this is about. And you know,
there can be a shame aspect involved in that too.
Exactly.
You know,
absolutely.
where somebody makes you just feel terrible because they have to help you, or they are helping you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let me tell you,
like, what am I can't do anything. Like, what do you want me to do about it?
Let me tell you, my husband's friends, like friends or people that know, he had one friend that, and they were like, I used to, you know, I worked for Social Security or whatever, and they asked, oh, what your wife do? He's like, oh, she works for Social, you know, she's Social Security. They could not understand the fact that I was actually working, you know, and then one of his friends actually was like, oh, you know, I don't know if I can date someone that's disabled or in a wheelchair. You got to bathe them. You got to this. You got to do that. I was like, I had to look at him like, I know, are you gonna correct him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you gonna stop him? You know what I'm saying? And so immediately I was like, hold on now. You know, he doesn't bathe me. He doesn't do any. I bathe my own children. I do have, you know, I mean, people really, really thought that him dating me, he had to do all these things, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot. And I felt like this. It was like, you know, even if he did, so what? But it was a big deal, you know what I'm saying? And he used to get praises. You hear me? And, you know, like, oh, you're such a good guy for dating her and marrying her.
Oh, geez, that one.
Oh, like, shit. I'm like, Catch, what the fuck?
Someone hit him in the shin already with a wheelchair. Jeez,
look,
Louise.
I used to use that to get my friends laid all the time. I used to use it all the time, all throughout college. My friends help. Well, yeah, no, I would do it. I would just go up to him and be like, "Oh, hey, he's such a good guy. He takes care of me. He helps me do all these things." They'll be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Shut up.
Oh my gosh!
The pity
All
angle.
the time. I did it all the time.
Oh,
and so you know, like it goes both ways. There's push and pull here. You know what I'm saying? Like I may be the abuser in this situation.
That's okay. So see, we're exercising the spectrum here.
Right.
Wow.
You gotta use your perks, man. Do you not park in the front row? Yeah.
That's
right.
True. That's true. Yeah,
Perks.
like with the whole dancing thing. If you ugly, you ain't sitting on my lap. You know, I will move. I actually pulled. I was at a club, and I'm always dancing. Don't let me, you know, my little two-step. Don't let me get out there and do my thing. And then as soon as it's like you always this guy that fixates on you, and he's coming over there, and I'm like, oh no, you're not cute. And so he'll come like he's gonna just like. And I'll pull my chair back. And he fell. He fell. Bust his butt on the floor. So I'm famous for that. I am like literally. I even get women come and do it to me all the time too. And I'm gonna tell you, this is disgusting. So one day for my birthday, I had this big birthday party. And this was the first time a woman came up to me, and she had a dress on. And she was like grinding on my leg. I was like, "Do you got panties on?" I was like, I don't want you on my leg. I didn't even know how to act. Do you hear me? I didn't even know how to take it. And only thing that I could think about was, do she have panties on? And why, her grinding on my leg? It's like, what makes you think that it's okay for you to come and grind on my leg? I didn't even know how to handle it. I didn't even know how to handle it. And I actually, that's one, to the whole song went off, I was like this. Because I just couldn't. And she just gone. She didn't care about my facial expression, or I didn't even know what to say. I didn't even know what to say. I went to the bathroom later and I was like, oh, help me. I just had to say a quick prayer. So I will move though. I will move. But that was like a men and women. They see that wheelchair. Don't go to the strip club.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, right. That strip club. They. Yep.
It's like a free pass. It's like a free pass. I don't know why anybody wouldn't go.
You don't even need dollars.
Don't even
need a
need
wheelchair.
Free pass. Free pass.
I knew you had a story coming up, Shawn. I could just see your head spinning there.
I'm telling you, as soon as you go in the door, it's a free. They might as well just hand you the Willy Wonka golden ticket and be like, "Here you go, man. This is endless, and you use it." I mean, it's the way it goes. They love it. Strip clubs are. If you're in a chair, I suggest you at least go once. So
just to have the experience, yeah.
Don't go to Vegas, and they are like, my friends, and they put you right in the middle, and you was like, you know what? I don't even have to. I got you. I got you, and they present you right in the front, and I don't care. I was like, oh Lord, and I always do that. I don't give eye contact. I don't even do. You ain't gonna get eye contact. They coming. They are coming. I tell you, I never threw not $1 at a strip club because I got everybody, all the men and women come and dance by me. They did that whole show based upon the woman sitting in the front in the wheelchair.
Wow. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Perks.
Yep. Yeah, I used to go dancing a lot when I was in college, and I actually to this day feel really bad about this one because I had this young lady that I knew from college, and I didn't realize she was drinking as much as she did. When she got in my lap, a fast song came on. I popped a wheelie and I did a 360 like this. And when I got done, she was trucking to the bathroom. And to this day, I feel horrible about it because she was such a sweetheart. And I was just like, oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but
it happens, dude.
And I was just trying to show off. I was just trying to.
I know Donnie's got some strip club stories.
Come on, Don.
Don't act like you don't got any strip club stories, Don.
Well, no, I used to go with my best friend, and he was a chick magnet, and he loved going there because, like you said, he got all the attention. I was not comfortable with it. I would just watch him and be amazed. And, he spent a lot of money, in my opinion, wasted a lot of money on strip clubs and then dating strippers. So it was not my scene.
You don't want to bring him home.
Yeah, you're on a date. You don't want to bring him home.
He did. I mean, it was interesting. And there was a lot of drama. Trust me, there was a ton of drama always involved. And
been there.
But
my mom always say, can't find a hole. Can't find a hole into a house.
The one thing about strip clubs that was an interesting feeling is I felt like the hot chick at a prom. I mean, everyone was just like coming up to me like, what is going on here? It was a completely different feeling. So it was quite the experience.
So to bring that full circle, that probably is the way some devotees make you feel on a daily basis, and it doesn't cost you money.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Full circle on that one.
Wow. Look at that. That was even a big loop.
That's how a professional does it. All right, guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Exactly. That's good, Shawn.
I'm with you. I don't know what's our time looking like.
I'm
We
slide.
we're at like an hour and 17, so we probably should be wrapping it up in the near future here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody have any? I mean, we got into a couple of subjects, so I don't know if everybody got their turn to say something about each of those subjects. Anybody else want to put anything in with as far as devotees go?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking.
There you go.
Whoa, we just
She
lost
just
you.
hammered off on that. She's like, I'm looking.
sorry.
Click.
That was
I'm
like a
looking
mock.
right now.
That was like a mic drop. It was like, I'm looking, click on. That's all you need to know, people.
Like, look at me, my sister. Since my sister tried to call me, I'm like, ah! I told nobody to call.
Yeah.
And I
Anyway,
will call
Eric,
them.
Don, anything else on the devotees?
Well, Eric, did you have something you want to share from YouTube, or is that?
Yeah. So
Well,
there was a special on YouTube on devotees. It's informational, and it covers some of this material. I think we did a really good job of kind of doing the full spectrum here of what a devotee could be and is. And so the YouTube documentary, I'll put in the description, and it does talk about this. The other thing we need to also just make sure is there's people that are stalkers. I mean, that's just a fact, and they use this as a guise to do their stalkering. So, there's all sides going on here, and know yourself. Know yourself. Knowing yourself will help you know what you want, and then when you know what you want, then it makes it real easy to go out there and get it. So,
and don't be so desperate that that you fall for anything, because I think that's what a lot of these stalkers do. They feel like you're desperate and they prey on that. So never go anyone. I mean, I would never send pictures to anyone. I would never meet up with someone by myself. You have to make sure you're taking care of of yourself, because like I said, they could harm you. I mean, so you just don't be so desperate and feel like no, just don't do it.
Yeah, I think there's safe ways to go about things. I think the perspective between a male and a female is much different probably on this as well as what level you are, what your injury, you know what I mean, how much you can do for yourself.
Yeah,
we all play a part in that, in that feeling of vulnerability, right? That you're trying to avoid. I think there's a place for it. I was an avid dater for quite some time. I took a little while off. It's bad because of some bad things that some strange circumstances that we can definitely talk about at another time.
We definitely need to talk about it another time.
But then I have to be one of those extra mature things. Those are the kink stories. You don't want to get into those. I don't think. I don't know if you do. If people want to hear, if you guys want to hear kink stories, put in there.
Yeah, comment.
Look at me, Shawn. I'm gonna have to call you about that.
But yeah, like there's safe ways to do things and not safe ways to do things as far as when you're dating somebody. Especially the first few times that you go out with somebody, you definitely need to let somebody know where you're going. You need to have somebody that checks on you. There's a lot of things that can go in there to help you feel safe and keep you safe from potential bad things to happen. As far as devotees go, I think there's a place for them. I don't think that it's all a negative thing. I think that I discussed earlier that I also feel that in some way or another we all have a certain thing that we're into, and that just happens to be theirs, and we just happen to be those people. So I don't think it's all negative. I think that if you put a super negative stigma on it, it can be unfair to some people, like your friend, right, that you were talking to. It can be unfair. So I wanted to make sure that I was clear on that. I know I told a story about a crazy one earlier, but they're not all crazy. right?
Well, and the
Mhm.
thing is, you did get something out of it. You did
Oh, absolutely.
you did have a positive
Yeah.
experience with it. It was helpful
Right,
Absolutely.
in
Shawn.
its own way, you know.
Like I said, and I you know, we could, if we were going on for 2 hours, I could tell some more stories about some other ones, but I think that one kind of covers the crazy side of it, and there's another side of it too, that we could talk about. But I mean, I think those are just normal people who just happen to be attracted to people with disabilities, and I think some of that might come from the fact that they have struggles themselves, and so then they can understand a struggle, and then they feel more comfortable being around somebody who maybe has their own struggles the same way they have theirs, right? So like it can be easier to build a relationship or a foundation when you both have something in common, right? So
Right, exactly.
Yep.
that's another thing that I wanted to put out there, because I know I've had on the good side of devotees too, that that could be considered that, and that was the reason why. It was more of a struggle thing, knowing that they thought that I wouldn't judge them for their problems because they're not judging me for mine, right? So
Yeah.
Right,
anyways,
exactly.
Don, anything else on devotees? No?
No.
I'll take that as a no.
No,
Yeah.
I think with the comfort level, the people that around someone with a disability, maybe they have somebody in their background they know with disability, or they're working with disabilities. Level is there. Makes it easier to cross that line. So for both parties. In fact, yours in particular, that was kind of well known with the guys, that she was comfortable helping them figure out whether things function. We're in rehab, and
Look, in other countries that's legal. In other countries, they're called sex therapists, man. Like, and it's a legal thing, and insurance pays for it. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like that's out of the realm of craziness, right? I mean, it's fully practiced in other
I
countries.
know.
And don't they
I
also
know
call it
several
surrogate?
guys,
Yeah, the surrogates too. Yeah. Sexual surrogates.
guys in my rehab hospital appreciated it. Some of them really were distraught with, not knowing that things work, did they not work, can I still be attractive to someone? And then all of a sudden this attractive nurse comes in and says, hey, let's see what happens here. And I heard guys, and even in a movie, there's a movie called The Water Dance. There's scenes like that, so
yeah, then it can happen in all different types of ways. You talk about caregivers, you talk about nurses. I mean, all that stuff, right? I mean, they can become attracted to you and and things can escalate in that way too. So, I think that, yeah. Anyways, I think I'm beating my point to death, so I'm just gonna let it go. Next thing we talked about is lines drawn in relationships. Anybody have anything else they want to add? No?
Nope. You did good.
Yeah,
I think we covered it pretty well, you guys. I mean,
All
we
right.
can certainly do another hour on other topics. But
Yeah, I mean, I think talking about the actual sexuality of a relationship is very important. Something that we should be doing. We should do soon. I think that would go along with this series that we're doing. This is the second part, by the way. I probably should have said that in the beginning, but I didn't. So deal with it.
It'll be in the title. No worries.
So yeah. So that, I mean, there's all types of things that go into it. And as far as boundaries go, I think just to hammer at home, learn yourself, learn what makes you comfortable, and then put that into practice as far as relationships and dating go. I think sometimes you're going to have to fail to know where that is.
Right.
That line is not easy. Go ahead.
And love yourself. I think that before you get out there and you actually do really start dating, find yourself first. so that you don't want you, so you don't be so vulnerable, So know yourself, love yourself, know, like you said, have your boundaries set. Make sure you're comfortable in your own skin and you're comfortable with your disability. If I always tell people, if you can't take a full photo picture of yourself and post it on a public site, or just, see that full picture of yourself, don't go out. I feel you shouldn't date, because you're going to be hurt. You're going to be disappointed and things of that nature. But, first of all, work on yourself and love yourself, and who you are.
And do it at your pace. There's no timeline for this.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, especially if you were able-bodied and then disabled, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a transition period there, man. And
Mm-hmm.
for some people it's an hour. For some people it's 10 years, right? There's a transition period. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions to understand where your comfortable positions are.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Because
find your
the only
boundaries.
way to know is to push it past, right? So
Mm-hmm.
don't be scared to venture out and be part of the world and be part of the public and be part of dating world and all those type of things, just because it'll help you grow into who you are as an individual with a disability. And that's all I got to say about that.
You guys are educating me very well. Thank you.
Well, somebody needed to do it, Eric. I don't know. I've been trying to do it over phone calls, but you're just not listening. So let's just make it public.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anything for you, bud. And again, if you're going to sue anybody, it's going to be Eric. If you're going to call anybody about this episode, if you are a devotee and you're angry about what anybody said, call Eric.
Right.
I'll take the calls.
Yeah. Eric's fielding all the calls. Call him.
Yeah.
If you're a devotee and you're a man, call Laronda. If you're a female, you might be able to call me. I don't know. Send me a message on Facebook and then we'll figure it out.
Well, first of all, you gotta at least be over 6 feet tall.
There you go.
Look.
You got standards. You got standards.
I got standards. And I will not.
She's an able-bodied devotee. She's devoteed to the able bodies.
So those kneecaps, it's those kneecaps for you, isn't it? You're just looking at those kneecaps the whole time.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not gonna go there.
I was just gonna say, we are at a certain level in the wheelchair where it's just like.
Come on, Shawn. Me and Shawn be here. me and Shawn be here. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Shawn.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, hey, that was the Podriplegics episode. It's finished. Click subscribe, hit the notifications, and you'll never miss our 4 beautiful faces and voices again. All right? From all of us. Peace.
Yeah.